Okay, so this is a bread and sweet roll maker, and I figured I would just go with this because it is a windmill, and windmills are supposed to mill grain. I think I can also do other things with this, just given how much power the windmill has. So I probably could also add like an automatic cake making thing, as well as like honeyed apples and the chocolate berries or whatever, if I figure out how to fully automate those as well, but this is just relatively simple. It looks a lot more complicated than it is at certain parts because I was not very smart about how I laid things out, so I had to use a lot of gearboxes to make sure everything was turning the right direction. But at the top here, and I'm sorry for the horrible building, I just wanted to fit something inside of a set like size parameter for the windmill. So here I have some harvesters with the radial chassis, and then on the top of it I have a double chest that is slime balled to the top, as well as the portable storage interface, and when they meet here they will transfer anything that's harvested and put into the double chest. This is all just wheat with some water around the edge so it has the watered soil and grows faster. Okay, so the actual farm part is pretty simple to set up. All you need is a vertical gearbox, so you can connect your power source to the actual mechanical bearing. Maybe depending on what source you use, you don't need that. I needed it for the windmill because it's vertical. It's a vertical alignment and then a horizontal alignment. And then on top of the mechanical bearing, you put radial chassis, like this. You put slime balls for your chest, and I think you need a slime ball for the portable storage interface. And you need one block in between them. So then you do this, and you'll have that hopper to whatever storage it needs to go to. And then on at least one side, you just put the mechanical harvesters, and that should already be good to go. Let me just grab an engine, or not an engine, motor. Find where it is. And then let's do that. Okay. And once it's moving, you can also plant seeds under where it originally was. And every time that a crop is harvested, it'll automatically replant it. So the only thing you need to do is plant the first batch of crops wherever the harvesters are, and whatever's in range within the harvesters, which can take some time to figure out, but this is the easiest part of the process. But then I have the wheat transfer from here all the way down onto this red area here. I have these marked off based on what they are. And this will put the seeds into the byproduct over here, the extra seeds. So you can use this for chicken breeding or a chicken farm. And then I put the wheat into the mill block right here, the millstone. And it produces wheat flour and then seeds. The seeds are also a byproduct and go on the side here. The wheat flour then gets dropped down one layer into a depot with an encased fan blowing water onto it, which turns it into dough, and then that will drop it one using another filter onto a depot, and the campfire smokes the dough into bread, which goes into this chest down here. And if you just want a bread farm, that's where you would just stop, is just with the 2-layer encased fans and the millstone. And it kind of looks a little complicated over here, but most of these casings are just so the fans are blowing the correct direction instead of sucking air in. and also powering the millstone with the force as well. Okay, so this is just the setup for the bread making process, and this one's also pretty simple. So you want to set up a mechanical belt with a brass funnel here and here. So on this one right here, it'll be the seeds from the farming process, and then over on this side will be the actual wheat that'll go through, and that'll go straight into a millstone. Come on, if I can add that. And then the millstone will deposit into another mechanical belt. Or not a mechanical belt, that will deposit into a depot. And this depot will be set up for a water encasing fan. So it should be able to just do this. Or encased fan, my bad. That'll go that way. And the water will go in that one. This will turn the flour that is produced from the wheat into dough. And off of that one, you're gonna put your dough filter on into another depot. And this one will be a campfire with a encased fan going the same direction, and that'll cook this into the bread. And the output will just go through and the bread will be produced. And then another filter I'm gonna have right here is another seed output, just because they also get produced by this as well as your farm, so you're gonna have extra seeds on hand for a majority of the time. And then I can move all of this and just get the gearboxes ready. And now, if I do this, nope. So, gearbox, creative motor. So that'll be going that way. And you could just have it connect to the other things right here as well. Actually, I think a vertical gearbox is used for this. Yeah, okay. And then, nope, vertical gearbox, gearbox, vertical gearbox. That'll start turning the mill. And then off of this one, or one of them at least, you can then do the other setup. So, vertical gearbox, gearbox, or vertical. And that'll be blowing both of them. Oh nope, this one is wrong. So this is why it was kind of messed up in the other one as well. The other setup that I had. Vertical gearbox, no. Vertical gearbox. Gearbox. There, that's the smoke you want to see. So this is why it looked a little complicated in the other one. You don't have to use all the gearboxes. You can just use shafts and make it a little easier, but you need to at least make these blow the right direction. And that should be all of it handled. So now I can just do a thing of wheat on the conveyor right here. You should be able to watch the whole process go through. So that goes into the grindstone. I might need to up the speed a little bit. But then this will turn into dough, and then it'll drop down here, it'll be cooked into bread, and it'll shoot the bread out. And you can just stop it like that right there, because it makes multiple pieces, or you could do the rest of the build, which adds the milk on top, which then makes it into sweet rolls. And then over here is the milk that you need to turn the bread into sweet rolls down here. This isn't my design. I got this design off of YouTube. I will be linking the channel / video. The channel's name is quite literally just create tutorials. So I'll link the video I used. It's like 2 years old, but it still works plenty well for me. And then I have that just go into this milk tank over here. And then a pump into the spout block. And the belt right here, I have the bread fed in by a hopper. And it takes 250, it's like millibuckets, I think is the phrase for it. And it'll spout onto the bread and turn it into the sweet rolls. I think with this milk farm and stuff, if I set up some form of chicken farm over here, I could also figure out how to do cakes. Especially since cakes also use the dough block as well, so I could figure out an automatic cake machine at some point. I just need to figure out how to recycle the buckets in the cake recipe itself. But yeah, it's relatively simple, and there's quite a lot of space in here, so if I were to do a large windmill, I would you could probably move these more back into one corner and just move the pipes through the build itself. And the wool also takes up a bit of space, so I get it's a bit ugly, so if we get rid of that, it might look a bit nicer. But there's enough space left over to where you could actually build either like a house or a room or something inside, or just completely add food automation inside and have it all transferred to the bottom of the structure that it's in. And most of this can be compacted even further. A lot of it's just extended because I used hoppers to demonstrate each section separately so I could separate them with the wool. A lot of it can be raised up at least a little bit. So yeah, that's the bread and sweet roll mill.